Good morning, students. This is Venkat. Welcome to social class. Today I am going to start next lesson in your part paper 1, that is climate of India. So first three lessons we learned that in the previous June classes and also the offline classes. And first two lessons, first lesson is India and relief feature. It's a part of geographical part. Second lesson and third lesson is part of economics. That's also paper 1. Then come to that third one. It is also based upon geography and talking about climate and weather conditions of India. So what the topic name today? I am going to deal that climate of India. So before knowing about the climate of India, we having some of the introduction is given in your textbook. So once everyone read the textbook, you can understand the position. Here, first point was meteorology, else called as meteorologist, the person, those who are dealing about the geography and also come to that dealing about the nature of the weather and all the conditions. Meteorologist is always just comment about the India's weather, and meteorologists are, there is a one word was using in your textbook, it is called as bewildered. What the word is using? Bewildered. So meteorology department are confused. So bewildered means confused to say about the future of weather condition of India, because they are unable to protect, or else called as protest, means they are unable to say that what is the position and why the rainfall is in some areas is very high and why the rainfall is very low and why the rainfall is comes in that low or else comes in the high. In some areas the rainfall is more, in some areas the rainfall is less, and also called as uncertainty of rainfall. It means the rainfall is not comes in the proper time. So they are saying that predict. So meteorology department are confused. They are unable to predict how much rainfall is comes in the proper time. You're seeing that sometimes in the TV they are saying that tomorrow there is a chance for rainfall, but we are not at all going to get the rainfall in the tomorrow. So there is some confusion is also occurred. That is the changes was occurred because of the global changes, the global warming. All the problems are going to be occurs because of the pollution. So there was a one report in 2013. The report was given in your textbook. That test report is saying that in the 2013 we are seeing that Uttarakhand floods. It's a very high rainfall, and because of this floods, there's a lot of areas was disturbed, and also there is a sudden hailstorms in the sense the falling like a vadagallu in Telugu, that you can say the hailstorms was fallen in the region of Chevella. That's very no one gets that why this much of hailstorms was fallen. So there is a call as hailstorms was fallen in the region of Chevella. And come to that, the cloud burst in the sense of in Telugu it is called as Kundapota. Heavy rainfall is occurred in the region of Uttarakhand. So these are the some changes which is given in your textbook. So the meteorology department was unable to guess that how much rainfall is comes, and also why the rainfall is comes in the very high, why suddenly the hailstorms was occurred, and why the cloud burst, that you can say the Telugu Kundapota, why this one is happened. These all the things we have to know. There are some of the aspects was based upon in our lesson, and also that there was a one good news in our because of this new rainfall. In 2013 only there is a rainfall in the region of Ongole 341 millimeters. These 341 millimeters of rainfall are equal to that 1/3 of state rainfall. The state, you can say that Andhra state, not for including Telangana. So in 2013, there is a rainfall in the region of Wongol, that is 341 millimeters of rainfall, and this one are equal to that is equal to the very high rainfall, and that says that 1/3 of rainfall of the state rainfall. Then one more thing is, because of this rainfall, there was a one good news: 75% of the state's tanks mean cheruvulu. The 75% of the states in the region of Andhra state, all the tanks was filled up with the water. That is 80,000 tanks was filled. So one more time I will try to explain this. What is the need to be learned about this lesson, climate of India? So there is a news report which was printed in 2013 in the October of 25th of October in the Times of India. That is a news report is meteorological departments are confused to predict the future position of India, that is high rainfall, low rainfall, and also called as zero rainfall in some areas, and uncertainty of rainfall. In some time there is a heavy rainfall is occurs. So they given that example for this one is Uttarakhand. There is a very high rainfall, that is a cloud burst of rainfall. Then come to that in the region of Chevella, the part of Telangana, there was a hailstorm was occurred. That is also suddenly, because these two was not guessed by the meteorology department. And also next one is, in some areas the rainfall is uncertainty. In a sense, we have to get the rainfall in the month of June, but we are getting the rainfall in the month of August. So there is no use if we are going to get the rainfall in the month of August. If we are going to get the rainfall in the month of June, then everyone is going for cultivation. So new crop will come in the month of June, July, August. And that is because of southwest monsoon late, automatically northeast monsoon is also occurs late. So because of that, there is a lot of changes is comes. So one more thing is good news in this rainfall time. Wongol at the time of 2013, there is a 341 millimeters of rainfall was occurred, and this 341 millimeters of rainfall equal to that 1/3 of state rainfall. So how much the state rainfall is occurred? In that 1/3 of rainfall is occurred in the region of Wongol. Because of this rainfall, almost all the tanks, that is 75% of the tank, that is 85,000 tanks was filled up with the water. This is one of the good news. Because of this rainfall, almost all the tanks was filled up with the water. Now we'll go with the topic. What is the difference between climate and also the weather? So here is before I give you the introduction, now come to that here in the lesson name only, climate of India. You should know the difference between climate and also the weather. Then I'll come with the topic. What is climate and what is weather? So before of knowing the climate and weather, everyone should be know that atmospheric changes. So last year in the class 9 we learned what is meant by atmosphere. So we know that atmosphere is one which is consisting with some different type of gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, all the gases is consisting with the atmosphere. So the reason is atmospheric changes. So what are the changes it is going to be occurs in the atmosphere? One is high temperature and also that low temperature. That you can say that high and also the low temperature. Sometimes it goes very high temperature, sometimes it goes to the low temperature. In the sense, Telugu is called as vedi, takwa vedi, ekwa vedi. That you can say that high temperature and also the low temperature. Even that rainfall, high rainfall and also that low rainfall. And pressure means wind pressure, that is maybe that high pressure and also that low pressure, including that sunlight, and humidity. These all are the changes which is occurs in the atmosphere only. So what is mean by atmospheric changes? Temperature, high temperature or low temperature, high rainfall or low rainfall, and also that sunlight is come to that high sunlight and the low sunlight. Humidity is also one, high humidity or else called as low humidity. And the next one is pressure, wind pressure. So these all are the changes which comes in the atmosphere only. So atmospheric changes means these all changes. The atmospheric changes means either temperature high or low, or else called as high rainfall or low rainfall, high sunlight or low sunlight, high humidity or else low humidity, and even these all the changes called as atmospheric changes. Now the come to that topic of weather and also the climate. Atmospheric changes over an area, even in the smaller area, and also that in the less period of time. So weather means atmospheric changes over a small area and a limited period is called as weather. So the limited period in the sense of minimum 10 days of average atmospheric changes. So we are seeing that news report. In the morning news report they will say that today's weather, and they cannot say that today's climate, because climate is different, weather is different. So weather can take for average over a short period and a smaller area. So that you can say that's weather. So these all the changes is comes in the few days of time in the limited space, and that is called as weather. Okay, come to the climate. Quite opposite to the climate. Atmospheric changes over a larger area. And also that the long period is called as climate. Long period in the sense average 30 years of weather. So climate means atmospheric changes over a larger period, means larger space or larger area, or else called as longer area, and also long period of time, that is 30 years of time, is called as climate. We will say that India's climate, that is, we are saying that today we can say that today's weather report. We cannot say that today's climate, because we are saying that India's climate is suitable for living, but Antarctica climate was not suitable for living. So when we are talking between the one country to other countries about the changes of climatical, we can use for a climate. So we are saying that India's climate is suitable for living. Antarctica climate was not suitable for living. That is saying that the climate or weather. So one more time, try to understand that what is meant by weather and what is meant by climate. So weather is a one, the atmospheric changes over a short period of time. Now so that a less area is called as weather. Climate means atmospheric changes over a larger area and the long period of time is called as climate. We are saying that today's weather, but we cannot say that today's climate. And we can say that India's climate, but we cannot say that India's weather. So India's climate can be suitable for living. Antarctica's climate cannot be suitable for living. We are saying that 30 years of average. There is one more we are calling as climograph. So try to understand that what is meant by climograph. Climograph is a graph which shows that maximum and minimum temperature and also the rainfall is called as climograph. Because we are saying that today we are recording the temperature, everything. But all the temperatures and everything can be recorded, and that should be present on the graph. So the data which we are presenting on the graph is called as climograph. Climograph is a graph which shows that maximum and minimum temperature and also the rainfall is called as climograph. So can I say one more time? Climograph is a graph which shows that maximum and minimum temperature and the rainfall is called as climograph. See that these are the four climograph which was mentioned that. See in your textbook page number 45, that's in the old textbook. There you can see that four places. One is called a New Delhi, that's a continental type of temperature. There we can find the high and also that low temperatures. In the month of May, they'll get that it goes to that above 45 degrees. In the month of January, it goes to that 1 degree, even that 0 degree, also in some areas of Delhi. Next, Leh is a one. Throughout the year, they can get this less temperature because it is a part of Himalayan side. Next one is Jaipur, Rajasthan side. Here also high and also that normal temperature, very high and also that normal temperature can found that. And Chennai is a next, they given that moderate temperature. By seeing that graph, you can fill up this relief. Relief means what is the physical feature of that. You see that Jaipur is a desert. That's a physical feature is desert. Leh is a Himalayan region. New Delhi is a continental, and Chennai is a one which is having that moderate temperature because it is a coastal portion. It is a coastal portion. Then come to the next one is, there are some of the factors that influencing the climate. So we studied in the lower classes about these are the factors, but I'm going to be explain one more time. These are the four factors. So one more time before of starting these factors, once try to understand that what is mean by climate and what is mean by weather and what is mean by climograph, because this is very important question for 1 mark and also the 2 marks. Weather is a one. The atmosphere changes over an small area and a less period of time, that is average 10 days of time, that is calling as weather. Next, climate means atmosphere changes over on larger area and also called as longer period. Here is long period in the sense of 30 years of average is called as long period, that is calling as climate. That's the difference between weather and also the climate. Then come to the climograph. Climograph is a graph which represents that maximum and minimum temperature and also that the rainfall is called as climograph. Both are showing on the graph that you can see that climograph. Now see the factors. What are the factors that influencing the climate? So we have that some places like Delhi and also the Chennai. If you observe that Delhi, in the region of Delhi, the temperature goes to that very high in some time and also that the temperature goes to that very low also in some time. So that is because the Delhi relief feature is different that you can find in the region of continental side. Then next one is Chennai. Chennai is not like that because Chennai is a one place which is near to the coast. Chennai, Mumbai, Visakhapatnam and Kakinada, these all are called as coastal areas. So here in this area that Chennai is come to that moderate. Means not high, not low. That's moderate temperature that you can find in the region of Chennai side. And also we have that Himalayan regions. And Himalayan regions are also having that different type of temperatures. So now see that what are the factors. The first factor was latitudes. And the next one is relief. And other one is upper air circulation. So what are the factors that influencing the climate? So there are 4 factors that influencing the climate. Either sometime the places comes near to that equator, and sometime the places comes near to the poles. We know that what is meant by equator and what is meant by poles. And next one is the land and sea relationships and the relief, and also called as upper air currents. See, the first one is latitudes. We know that this is called as equator, and this one is Tropic of Cancer, and other one is Arctic Circle. So the areas between 0 degree to 23.5 degree is called as tropical zone. This zone is called as tropics. The same zone also can found in the southern side also. Next, from 23.5 degree to 66.5 degree is called as temperate zone. Similarly, here also we have the temperate zone. The last one you can say that polar zone. Here also we have the polar zone. So see that latitudes, and also it is distance from the equator. So there are 3 zones. One is called 0 degree to 23.5 degree is called as tropical zone, that you can found in the north and also in the south. So this zone is near to the equator. Next one is from 23.5 degree to 66.5 degree is called as temperate zone. That is, zone also can found in the north and also the south. And also 66.5 degree above in the north and also south is called as poles. If we are going move towards to the north, the temperature is going to be decreased, because the temperature is always above near to the equators, the temperature is high, and if you go to the above latitudes, the temperature goes to be less. You see that sunlight. If that we have in class 8 there inclination of the sun, otherwise the shadow, a simple language you can say the shadow of the sun. If the sunlight falls and straight on your head, there we are going to get that high temperature, and also we feel more sunlight. And evening time the sun goes to the other side, that you can say that inclination of the sun, or else called direction of the sun, was changed. We have 2 countries, one is called Japan and Indonesia. So there is also that a country which is comes near to the equator is having that high temperature. If the country comes to that above to the equator, there is a lot of changes are going to be occurred. You see that India temperature is also different. You see the latitude of India 8 degrees 4 inches to 37 degree inches. So 8 degrees 4 inches, that is 7. Because we know that where India comes is that in the tropical zone, otherwise in the temperate zone. India lies in the tropic and also the temperate zone. You see that southern part of India comes under tropical zone. Northern part of India comes under temperate zone. So 8 degrees to 23.5 degree lies under tropical zone. The 23.5 degree to 37 degree is called as temperate zone. So in the region of tropical zone, there is a somewhat high temperature. You see that in the region of India, southern part of people and having that high temperature when we go to the northern side. So even that, see the colors also, the people of northern side somewhat color compared with the southern side. These all the changes are occurred because of the weather conditions only. See one more time. We have that tropical zone and temperate zone and also polar zone. So one more time, what is meant by latitude? So first, the factors that influence in the climate was latitude and also the distance from the equator. If places which comes near to the equator are having the high temperature, if places which is above to the equator, if you go north or south from the equator, the temperature is going to be reduced. And also we learn in that example, you see that if you sit down of the fan exactly, we are going to get that more cool breezes. If you maintain some distance from the fan, there is a less air can be reached to your place. Similarly, whenever you are playing in the ground, the time of afternoon time, exactly at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we feel very high temperature. Means that sunlight falls straightly on your head. Similarly, the sunlight passes to that straight towards the equator, and if it is goes to some distance, even to the north or south. So because of that factor, the shadow can be decreased if you are going to the long distance. Because of that factor, when that people is moving from equator towards the north or south, the temperature is going to be decreased. So we have the three zones: tropical, temperate and polar. The tropical, temperate and polar can found even in the north and also even in the south. But you can say the tropical zone, temperate zone and also the polar zone, either in the northern side and also the polar side. So here the people, or else if we are going from equator towards the northern side, the temperature is going to be decreased. So one more point was India. Take an example, India. India lies between 8 degrees 4 inches to 37 degrees 6 inches. It means this India comes under tropical zone and also that temperate zone. So particularly that southern part of India comes under tropical zone, and northern part of India comes under northern part of India comes under temperate zone, because India's latitude was 8 degrees 4 inches to 37 degrees 6 inches. So 8 degrees to 23.5 degree is comes under tropic, 23.5 degrees to 37 degrees comes under temperate zone. Okay, so because of that factor, there is some variation between that southern part of India to northern part of India. Come to the next, land and also that water relationship. You see that water and the land. Water takes very fast to heat and also the fast to cool. But land will take late to heat and also that takes much time to cool also. It takes much time to heat, much time to cool also. So that is a difference between that land and also the water. So what will happen? What are the problem? We see that India is having that most lot of states, more than of 9 states are occupies that coastal side. It means a land which is connecting with the water. So because of that region, there is some changes are going to be occurs. What are the problem will occurs? You know, in the region of coastal side, in the region morning time or else called afternoon time, we feel very happy because we like to stay in the region of beaches, otherwise near to the water side. Because in the time of morning time, the cool breezes come from the sea and it goes towards to the land side. Because of that, we are feeling somewhat good. And at the same time, that hot breezes will go to the seaside. And because of that factor, in the morning time and afternoon time, we feel somewhat cool if you are staying near to the coastal side. Same time, night time, hot breezes goes towards to the land side and cool breezes goes towards to the seaside. Because of that, there is a lot of changes also occurs. Because of this factor only, the beaches, coastal areas somewhat cool compared with the land areas. So coastal side in the region of beach, morning time it looks like somewhat cool, evening time it is somewhat warmer, not a hot, warm. And also there is a 2 areas where you can say that observers and also called as reflectors. There are some of the darker areas. So darker areas means the area which is covering with the grass is called as darker areas. So the darker areas are called as good absorbers, which takes the sunlight. And also that areas which is having that ice and sloped rocks, and that areas is called good reflectors. So you can say that there are some areas are called as good observers and also called as good reflectors. So good, what are the areas comes under good observers? So the areas which is having that good vegetation, it means covers with the grass, that areas are called as good observers. The areas which is covers with the rock, otherwise called ice, that you can say that good reflectors. So here also example for reflector was Himalayan side is called as good reflectors. An area which is having with the rocks are called as good reflectors. And observers are called as areas which is having that a grass and as tree covers, and that areas are called as good observers. So here is land and water relationship. We have one picture also in your textbook. Here see that daytime warm air is going from land and cool is coming from the seaside. At the same time night, these cool breezes are going towards to the sea and warm is coming towards to the land. So because of that, at the time of morning time, there is a very good temperature that you can find in the region of beach side. Night time they can find somewhat warmer. Next one, you can say that what is the other feature? Relief. Relief means as we go to the higher elevation. This is the land which we are standing. As we go to the higher elevation, the temperature is going to be decreases. As we go higher elevation, or it's called high altitude, altitude. As we go high altitude, the temperature is going to be decreases, and as we go down towards the ground, the temperature is going to be increased. So because of that factor, the top of the mountain is having that cool temperature compared with the foot of the mountain. So you see that one more time, relief. As we go higher elevation, the temperature is going to be decreased. As we goes down by digging the land, the temperature is going to be increased. Why? So this is called as the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain is having that very cool temperature compared with the foot of the mountain. Then the foot of the mountain is having that high temperature. Take an example, Simla and Ooty, Mount Abu, all the mountains, even that all the places are called as summer resorts, even that Anaimudi, Dodabetta, and Simla, Nainital, Mussoorie, and Kangra, Kulu Manali. These all the areas are comes under top of the mountain. So because of the top of these all the areas comes under higher elevation, above 2000, above 1500 feet of height. Because of that factors, these are the areas are having that very good temperature. See that Ooty is very famous, also called Udaga Mandala, and these areas are having that very good temperatures because of the these are the areas comes under the higher elevation. Next come to that other, the last one is calling as upper air circulation. So we have that last class in the 9th class, we have the pressure belts. In the pressure belts, first near to the equator you can say that equatorial low pressure belts, and northern side of equatorial low pressure belt, and southern side of that we have that subtropical high pressure belt. What the belt name is called as subtropical high pressure belts. Once you see the globe in the textbook of 9th class textbook, we can find this equatorial high pressure belt, subpolar high pressure belt, and polar high pressure belt, like some different type of pressure belts are there. If you observe that both side of equator we have that subtropical high pressure belt. So what is the meaning of this one? The winds which is blowing from subtropical high pressure belts towards the equatorial low pressure belts, and at the time there are some trade winds also occurs. We know that last year we learned trade winds. You can say that prevailing winds called as trade winds, easterlies, westerlies, these all the things. So the winds which is blowing from subtropical high pressure belts to that equatorial low pressure belts, in this process then these are the winds which is going to be change the temperature of India, because these winds are called as trade winds. And the trade, the meaning of the trade in the region of German was, we can say that track. Track means we know that steady direction of winds. So because of these trade winds, the Indian temperature is going to be changed, because these are the trade winds are blowing in the direction of northeastern direction. Because of these trade winds, the Indian weather, or else called as Indian temperatures, are going to be changed. And one more thing is, there is a one climate of India is also occurs the effect with the upper air circulation. There are some of the winds which are develops about 12,000 meters height. So about 12,000 meters of atmosphere, there are some of the winds are developed, and these winds are called as upper air circulation, or else called as upper air currents. And these winds are different in the speed level. If you observe that in the month of winter, these winds are blowing with 184 kilometers speed, and in the month of summer it goes with the 110 kilometers. So these are the winds which are developed in the region of above atmosphere. In the summer time it goes 110 kilometers per hour. In the time of winter it goes with the 184 kilometer speed. So because of these winds also, there are some changes in the India's climate. Not only this one, and also that western disturbances and intertropical convergence zones is also play crucial role. So one more time I'm going to be revise what we learned today. That first introduction on that report of the Times of India, where the report is saying about the position of India in all the aspects. Next, the difference between climate and weather. After climate and weather, we learn about climograph, the 4 graphs of Leh, Delhi and Jaipur and some other Chennai. Next, the factors that influencing the climate. First one is latitude and near to the area, it means near to the equator. So we know that as the places which we move from the equator towards the pole, the temperature is going to be decreased. So you observed an example of India also. India found that 2 age zones. One is tropical zone, one is temperate zone. Southern part of India comes under tropical, northern part of India comes under temperate. Because of this factor also, there is some changes in the temperature either in the north and also the south of India. Next, land and water relationships. If you observe that land and water relationship contrast, water will take much time to heat, much time to cool, means fast to heat, fast to cool, but the land will take too much of time to heat and too much of time to cool. And because of this all the factors, you observe that near of coastal site. And the first one is winds are coming from the land to the seaside, and these are hot warm winds, and because of this the sea will be somewhat warm, and the same time the winds coming from the sea was somewhat cool. So because of that factor, the daytime the temperature is cool in the region of coastal side. In the night time, quite opposite, hot winds coming from the sea, cool winds going to the seaside. And that is a two, we have that good observers and also called as good reflectors, and vegetation areas is called as good observers, and lighter areas are called as good reflectors. And the relief, as we go above to the sky, above to the altitude, the temperature is going to be decreased. So because of this, we know that Simla, Nainital, Mussoorie, Kangra, Kulu Manali, Ooty, these all the areas come to that above sea level, more than of 2,000 meters of height. Because of this factor, these all the areas are called as summer resort areas. The last one is upper air currents. So these upper air currents are also based upon the some different type of belts, and India is also near to the subtropical high pressure belt. So winds are blowing from subtropical high pressure belts to that equatorial low pressure belts. In this process, India also found in the region of tropical site. So because of that factor, there are some of the changes are also going to be occurs. And upper air currents also, that we know that it is going to be developed about 12,000 meters height. In the region of summer, it goes to the 110 kilometer speed. In the winter time, it goes to the 184 kilometer speed. Because of this, also there is some of the changes are going to be occurs in the region of India. Not only this one, ITCZ, intertropical convergence zone, western disturbances, and local area temperatures are also playing crucial role for changing of the weather and also the climate. So if you have a doubt, you can clarify these doubts in the next Zoom section. And again, I'm going to be start that next part, and then we have one more video. I'll make that one more video about climate of India. Then we'll see that what the doubts you have, that you can clarify in the next class.